I'm big on bullying on men. I think it's a good thing. Makes you better.
I think bullying is good, personally.
Bullying is important, and bullying is a good thing, and it's needed for men.
Nowadays, it's like, oh my God, virtual bullying and all this other shit. You should be made fun of. Bring back bullying.
I think bullying is I think is good. I think, especially for men. Oh my God, Myron, bullying is bad. Bullying is fucking fantastic.
You're gonna regret it.
Right off the bat, I want to let all the newcomers to my channel know that I don't like bullying. I don't encourage it, I don't enjoy doing it, and I don't think it's a good thing at all. But goddamn, do some people deserve it. In case you don't know Fresh and Fit, these are by far the biggest clowns on all of social media.
For the record, for you three to answer this, what percentage of college women do you think are being flown around the world to fuck? I want to hear from all three of you.
To argue,
I want to hear.
Off of like probability wise, if I argue, maybe like 30, 40, 50.
And these clowns have just made the biggest mistake of their entire careers. They recently posted this 2.5-hour long podcast calling out Abba and Preach, where they made some of the most ridiculous claims I've ever heard in my entire life.
I ain't gonna lie, when Preach talks, I be thinking he has Down syndrome.
Dude, you run a podcast with Fresh.
So it's kind of like she's winning. He is on the other hand.
And they also lied on video on numerous occasions, and the insults they made were the same as what the kids in my middle school used to say. And once they realized they weren't getting anywhere with words, they decided to start dancing around like monkeys and making ape noises, all because the people they were talking about have skin that is black.
Don't bite your fat ugly wife! Don't bite your fat ugly wife! I need to dance. I need to get the.
Just dance. It's gonna be okay.
You're funny. He's right on his toes when he's dancing.
And if that wasn't bad enough on its own, Myron's mental breakdown over Abba and Preach actually started the night before when he decided to do this.
I think enough people know now that these dudes have literally zero talent. Zero talent. We got guns. We're fucking ready in this.
James. Are you on Circus Coke?
No,
What's with you, man?
I don't need no fucking drugs.
What the hell?
Got this, baby. We out here.
This guy's a fucking loser. Look at him looking.
So how did we get to the point where Myron's mauling this hard? Well, let's have Myron explain the whole backstory here.
Long story short, I went ahead and called Abba Blue Pill, okay? Way back in the day on a stream when we were doing 2 to 3 podcasts a day with Rolo and all them. I didn't necessarily recall when it was. He comes on the show, he confronts me about it. Hey, you called me Blue Pill, blah, 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 which we're gonna play some of that, by the way, for y'all as well. I addressed it, I'm like, hey, you know what? It is what it is. I was wrong about you. On air, we patch it up right then and there. All good. He stays for the after hour show, had some conversation, etc. Right? Everything's good. Months after the fact, they go ahead and make a hit piece saying that we're cappers and they attack our integrity, our ability to be honest, how we're not necessarily who we purport ourselves to be, etc. Which, bro, for guys like us that are in the self-improvement space, integrity and honesty are huge.
Okay, first things first, Fresh and Fit have no integrity for anyone to even attack them for in the first place. Both Fresh and Fit sell a course on how to pick up women and claim that course is going to change your life.
Yo, everyone that took action on our course, I guarantee is going to change your whole life.
Yeah.
I guarantee you.
Yeah.
Yet, both of them are confirmed to have used sugar baby websites in order to pick up women where they paid women money in exchange for intercourse.
Beginning to end,
So
how we met, the honest truth, no cap.
With no cap, we met on Seething.
Emotional damage.
You approached me on a sugar daddy website and asked me to be your sugar baby and then couldn't afford my allowance.
Never did.
He couldn't afford my $10,000 allowance a month and said, haha, that's funny. Why don't you just come on my podcast instead?
So despite the fact that Myron self-identifies as a top 1% man on this literal escort website,
the site he uses is Seeking.com. It's basically an escort site. It's described as sugar dating, where you gift women things in order to go on dates with them. There's a recommended list with the most popular gifts. When signing up, it immediately asks if you're looking for earners or attractive people. You then need to immediately put in your yearly income as well as your net worth.
there's no debate as to whether or not these guys have an ounce of character or integrity for anyone to even attack them over. These are two single 30-year-old men who live in Miami and only have relationships that are purely transactional, yet they have the audacity to try and teach the younger generation of men how to pick up women for the low cost of only $4.99.
Where's the integrity there? Nowhere, bro.
Also, they can afford to pay more escorts off of Seething.
You know, it's a vicious cycle.
What we're gonna do here, guys, is we're gonna go through a lot of the lies, because what I want you guys to understand is that these guys are a reaction channel. They edit their clips and they put it in a certain way to spin a narrative a lot of times that isn't true. A lot of you guys are like, Myron, why are you responding now? Just let it go, blah, blah, blah. What you guys don't understand is that these guys have been talking shit for the better part of damn near 2 years. They've released 20 plus videos on us, attacking us. And then, hey, at some point, Frank Castle's got to come out and hold these fucking ass clowns accountable, because they've been lying to you guys. I'm about to expose the lies.
So this is less than 5 minutes into the hit piece, and Myron is already coping. I've seen most of these videos on Fresh and Fit by Abba and Preach. I don't watch much of their content, but when they make a Fresh and Fit video, I have to watch it because I'm always down to see Sigma males like this get exposed.
So, my honest to God truth body count, bro, no cap. You ready for it? It's over 1,000. I'm dead ass serious.
Do I know you?
Do I know you?
Yeah, you need to
Hey,
get
my
on our
friend.
course, bro.
You need a course ASAP. All right, next.
Yeah, you need the course ASAP.
Next.
Fresh, it looks like you need to buy your own course, bro.
It's over 1,000.
But anyways, as someone who's watched a lot of the Abba and Preach videos and a lot of the context behind those videos so I can make this video, I can assure you that when you watch the full context of these Fresh and Fit videos, it only makes things worse 99% of the time. Perfect example, just last week, these clowns made one of the women on their show cry while they were live.
You good?
Well, no, I'm not good. She gave up a 3-year fucking marriage to go to Miami. What the fuck is so good about a fucking palm tree and some fucking immigrants? What are you talking about? A 3-year marriage from Miami. She said, well, he didn't let me go to Miami.
You say men?
She threw away a 3-year marriage.
Sir, you're making her cry.
Oh, shit.
I'm sorry, we just been through a lot and I don't know what else to do.
Now, I could have played just that clip, but the full context actually makes it worse.
The truth hurts. All right, well, look, if y'all want to leave, we're throwing our mics around. That's fine.
Check this out.
Because immediately after making the girl cry, Myron falsely accuses one of the girls of throwing the microphone, even though it's on video. She clearly hit it by accident, but then he weaponizes his own personal delusion and uses that as an excuse to kick the girl out because they made her cry by making fun of her for getting divorced without fully understanding the years of context behind her marriage which led to that decision.
So, look, man, if the sisters are gonna throwing mics around and shit, man, honestly, yeah, they're being emotional. Y'all could just leave, bro. Y'all could just leave. It's fine. Just go. Well, your sister did, so just go with her. Fuck it. This is getting annoying.
I actually think Tears is more views. You're staying.
Nah, bro, she's leaving.
Did they actually throw a mic? What did I miss?
Mic, yeah.
Why do I even invite her? Like,
Yeah, well, it is what it is. Actions have consequences. Just go, grab your phone. Ice will help you get it. Guys, we can hear you guys crying in the background. Just leave. Just give them their phones and stuff and let them leave.
So as much as Myron wants to cry about how everything that makes them look bad, even in the slightest bit, is just out of context, the fact of the matter is, Myron is a liar, and this out of context BS is nothing but a massive cope. The context is on video, and it's readily available for the general public to watch, and the worst part is they know the context does not justify the behavior. They're the ones in person having these conversations, and they're sober while they do it. Yet, these two self-proclaimed high-value men still want to complain and cry about context at every single opportunity they get.
We go trending on TikTok, videos get taken out of context, clip this stuff out of context. That one out of context as well. They're gonna take things out of context, taking things out of context, and going off of clips. Okay? Tweet kind of gets taken out of context.
Take out of context, one piece of text.
Out of context,
taken out of context.
The clip was, I'm gay, was grossly placed out of context.
Yes. When in reality, these two should actually be on their knees begging for forgiveness to us, being grateful that most people aren't sitting there watching these garbage 6-hour-long Fresh and Fit streams in full and really seeing how nasty these guys are to the guests that come on their show.
171 for 5'6" is obese, bro. Obese is 30 pounds over target weight. So you are obese. It ain't a little bit. It's obese. Bruh, it's obese. Like, that's what it is. She is obese. That's a fact. You won't step on the scale. That's a fact. You are obese. A majority of men don't want obese women. You're delusional. You really think a majority of men want obese women, but you still are obese and you're trying to conceal it through mirages. Here's the facts. You're obese and you're lazy.
So
you are obese, which is the definition of fat, but you are obese. It's a fact.
Myron is a massive hypocrite because he literally takes stuff out of context in this exact same stream later on. So these guys don't actually care about context, they care about clips of them saying words,
which you are in 100% control of saying, by the way,
where they make themselves look bad.
And then real quick, people say all the time, yo, Fresh and Myron, why is this so personal? Well, when someone makes 20 videos about you and they lie about you for 20 videos, bro, you're gonna be taking personal on some level. So it is what it is, bro.
Yeah, bro. And here's the thing. I was always taught as a kid, they start it, you finish it. And that's what we're about to do with these ass clowns.
Okay, so I actually totally understand taking it personally if you ask me. I think 20 videos with more than 500,000 views each is a tad bit excessive, but it is weird to me that as soon as the red pill grift started to slow down, they want to pick this beef back up. Because they've already said in writing in the past that they're not going to do drama anymore because they wanted to focus on providing more value to the audience by giving them more incredible dating advice, like how you should instill fear in your partner.
One of the mandatory ingredients for respect, you guys want to know what it is? Fear.
Of losing.
Yeah, fear. Whether it's physical violence or of loss. But the point is that woman needs to be scared. What's a necessary component of respect, guys? Fear. And I know that sounds terrible to say it, but fear is a necessary ingredient to respect. Because when you have fear, right? Fear of loss, fear of violence, whatever it may be, you're going to automatically respect. And when you respect someone, that typically comes from some type of authority.
But in all honesty, I do think it is kind of snakish behavior for Abba and Preach to have made 20 videos on these guys. Because Abba and Preach actually went on the Fresh and Fit podcast in April of 2021, and Abba physically met them. And although there was some disagreements, and Myron, the low-value man, tried to pretend like he never talked negatively about Abba right to his face.
All right, so what did I say? I said
but you felt that I was kind of blue pilled, so I just want to ask you about that. Why do you think I might be blue pilled?
Well, from what I remember, I'm trying to remember. I would say blue, like, I'm trying to think, like, which video was.
I don't remember calling you blue-pilled, beta.
It was the one.
I'm trying to remember, cause yo, legit, we've done so many live streams. I'm trying to remember which one this was and what I said exactly.
For the most part, it was civil, and they did still do a second podcast together at night with other guests. And in my opinion, I think if you physically met and know a content creator personally and you have their phone number, I don't think it's exactly the most ethical thing to do to make more than 20 videos speaking negatively about them. Even though Abba isn't required to reach out to Fresh and Fit, these guys were never friends, but that's just what I would assume was a common courtesy after you've met someone in person. And I think Abba is at the very least aware that what he did was a tad bit wrong, because when he got confronted on it by Zerka, he kind of froze up.
Abba, it says here that you guys started the beef. You guys shot first.
I started it.
You made a YouTube video on a guy's podcast you went on?
Absolutely, that's exactly how it went.
So you leached off them and then attacked them? That's so badass. Why'd you do that?
Yeah. Anyways.
That is so cruel, bro. How could you? So you went on their podcast and the next day did a hit piece on them?
Absolutely.
So yeah, I personally disagree with this. I'm not saying you can't make a video on someone if you know them. All I'm saying is that this isn't what I personally would have done. If it were up to me, I would have at the very least reached out and tried to talk to them in a way that's still monetizable sometime before making the 18th video. So out of this entire 2.5 hour long podcast, this is probably the best point they made, but it only gets worse and worse the further we get into it.
Let's go ahead and into this cope fest right here, bro. I have a problem with fucking you.
With fucking me? Nigga, why are these callouts so goddamn gay?
Immediately deflects and says, oh, this is gay. Well, we're going to talk about gay here in a second.
You got a problem with me. Like, nigga, we never... What is this? This is so bizarre.
You're going too far with
that. Was the bottom.
Nah, bro, you heard it out of his own mouth.
I know.
Red Pill do stay saying the gay shit. You never noticed that?
Yeah, you just put
Blue Pill
the right place.
Hey, bro, so you need to cut that shit up.
You didn't put the comma at the right place. Fresh and Fit.
They want to talk about us being gay. Okay.
You had a prostate orgasm.
Yeah.
You have?
What?
Wait, what? Hold on 1 second. He's calling me gay. Hold on 1 second, guys. Hold on. Even the girls fucking shocked.
You hit the spot right. They got level.
You had a prostate orgasm.
Yeah.
You have.
Yeah, I'm open about it.
You've had a prostate orgasm?
Yeah.
Tell me more about it.
I mean, for me, I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay, so let's go back to the clip here. But we're gay.
Okay, I totally understand if that's not your thing. Obviously, it's a preference, but just being objective about it, if it's a woman doing it, that is not a homosexual act. If you want to say it's weird or that's not what you're into, whatever, but it's just not homosexual. We can't pretend like it's something that it's not. The fact of the matter is, Myron is only calling other grown men gay like this because he's projecting. And I'm not saying this as an insult because I don't think being homosexual is an insult. I'm saying this as a statement of fact. Myron Gaines is a closeted gay man because one, he's literally admitted it on numerous occasions.
In case you guys didn't realize, I got a confession too. I'm gay as well.
Okay, then yeah, I'm gay. But think that I'm gay.
Say me and you are dating, right, hypothetically, and you find out that I might have done some gay porn in the past to make some money. What would happen?
What do you mean by that?
And as Myron himself tells his audience,
when someone shows you who they are, you're supposed to believe them.
Yeah.
Number two, this picture is sus. And if Myron saw this exact same picture, but with Abba's face on it instead of his, he would 110% be calling the guy a homosexual and using that as an insult for 2 hours straight nonstop. And three, this one is just insane. As a straight 23-year-old man, there's no picture of me where another fully grown man is shirtless, laying down on my chest, hugging me crotch to crotch while on a bed, while there's another shirtless, fully grown man on the same bed.
I am not gay. I have relationships with women and sex with men.
And I got news for you. That means you're gay.
And if him admitting to being gay on video wasn't enough evidence, and if the pictures don't speak for themselves, every time Myron gets cornered by one of the women on his show, he starts doing this really weird and elaborate cross-dressing roleplay fantasy with them.
What if I started wearing heels and a dress and acting like a girl? How'd you feel?
What the fuck?
Exactly. I walked up to you in a club and I had heels and a dress and said, hey man, it's not like I'm gay or anything. I like girls still. Like, you know, what would you think?
The real reason you wouldn't want to go out on a date with me is because I'm acting like I'm gay, correct?
Yes.
And that's a turn off.
Yeah.
And there's more than 100 other examples of Myron doing this exact same thing. And again, in the full context, it's way worse because sometimes he'll go really deep into detail about like what color heels he wears or what day of the week he likes to wear them on.
I like to wear heels on Saturdays and wear lipstick every now and then.
that one we have to pause, right?
Yeah,
Pause.
And as a straight man, I cannot relate to this. These are not thoughts that I would even begin to conceive in my mind as a tactic to attempt to win an argument.
I mean, guys, any accusations that I play for the other team, very true, man, very true, 100%.
And the worst part is that Myron knows for a fact these pictures are out there, and all of this evidence exists, proving that he's at the very least not who he pretends to be online, and he knows for a fact these are not the actions of a straight man, yet he still decides to insult Preach, who's married to a woman, for a sexuality which he's projected onto him, which more than anything shows the sheer level of delusion that this man operates his day-to-day life at.
If we really want to talk about that, you guys want to fucking box? I'll box both you motherfuckers too. I'll box both you motherfuckers too. Get out of here, man.
But all of a sudden, it's like, pawn it off. Pawn it off. Bro, if anybody made this problem happen, that was you when you was talking crazy about something.
No, you did pawn it off because I challenged you, and then you went ahead and said, oh, Preach will fight y'all, blah, blah, blah. Bro,
he's scared.
Nobody is scared of Preach, man. These guys are thirsty for views. You guys got to understand, when this beef first started, there are 1.2 M subscribers.
First off, every single YouTuber, including Mr. Beast and PewDiePie, is thirsty for views. Views are how YouTubers produce income. This shouldn't be a surprise to anyone in 2023. Views are the reason why Fresh and Fit kick women off their show after inviting them on the show, after intentionally making them cry so they can clip it out of context and gain views and make more money. Also, Fresh doesn't have to go back to Grant Cardone's office just to him dry and beg him for money.
How much money did you make last month? $120.
$30 a week is what you made last month.
Yes, sir. How much money?
And like I said earlier, I do think 20 videos is a little bit excessive, but on the other hand, Abba and Preach get more than 1 million views consistently, making Jubilee and the button reaction videos, so they get views no matter what. So I honestly don't think they made these videos strictly for money, because I know for a fact they're making more than enough regardless of whether or not they make Fresh and Fit videos. I think they actually wanted to speak out against the BS Fresh and Fit say on a consistent basis while getting paid to do it. Second, Myron needs to stop pretending to act tough. The proof is on video. You can't just lie and expect to not get called out.
No, you did pawn it off because I challenged you, and then you went ahead and said, oh, Preach will fight y'all, blah, blah, blah. Bro,
he's scared.
Nobody is scared of Preach, man.
Yeah, Abba did pawn off the fighting to Preach. Not all grown men are interested in going to a different country just to fight over internet beef when they could just not do that.
Beta! Oh no.
Beta male! But Myron and Fresh started the boxing BS when they said they would box both of them, not just Abba. Then Preach accepted that challenge to fight, and then these self-proclaimed alpha males, Fresh and Fit, ducked that 2-on-1 challenge, and thanks to modern technology, everything I'm saying is verifiably true.
Come back to Miami. Let's box it out. Talk it out too. How about that?
In 3 months, though. And I keep both y'all niggas up too. If we really want to talk about that, you guys want to fucking box, I'll box both you motherfuckers too.
No, I'm gonna take one bitch and the other bitch. You guys are two bitches, twin sisters. That's your new name.
So Myron ducked this fight after calling the guy out.
That being said, boxing. You got our number, hit us up on the side. You know where we're at. We're in Miami, so let's do it.
Yeah.
You didn't even do that. You proposed to fight, talked, then when the person accepted, you're like, I'll bring $500,000. I offered you $20,000 to just show up. Win or lose, you were going to get paid. Hand you the check beforehand. And you still cowered out talking about, no, we need to get promoters. No, these guys think everything's about money.
It's not about money.
And I'm going to say this to you guys. I don't play with violence. That's why you've never heard me Preach come on here and say we would fight some people.
Then tried to twist the truth on video like the little weasel that he is, all while knowing for a fact that the proof and the context is readily available for everyone to see.
They got your ass on camera.
Niggas ain't got me on no fucking camera.
This is the clearest video I've ever seen. This is the most HD shit ever. This is 4K. How did they get you in 4K?
And I keep both y'all niggas up too. If we really want to talk about that, you guys want to fucking box, I'll box both you motherfuckers too. Now you guys know why I didn't want to fight with Preach, okay? Smart people discuss ideas, stupid people discuss people, and we made a mistake, all right? So with that said, we apologize, okay, for talking about his wife, his country, and making ad hominem attacks on them.
That ain't me.
And either way, Myron is 33 years old. This guy needs to grow up. Calling people out that are bigger than you to a boxing match, all because you insulted the guy personally first, is how the children in my elementary school used to act.
Made a video recently talking about my alleged wife.
It's just so dumb. Like, they really tried.
He really tried. And I'm going to explain to you because I haven't spoken about it and I haven't explained to you what happened. What happened was this. When the whole debacle with Fresh and Fit happened, they were trying to get some juice to get at us. And what happened on my other Instagram page that got canceled, that got deleted, right? They went to throughout all my pictures and they went to see if they could find a picture of my wife. If you don't know anything about me, I don't post about what I got. I'm talking about where I live, vehicles, whatever. I don't post that. I don't put pictures of my people around me. Why? Because people on the internet are weirdos, okay? They found a picture of someone and I'm going cheek to cheek with that person, right? We're cheek to cheek.
This dude is so effeminate, it's ridiculous. But we're going to address that. We're going to address that a little bit later on. Let's continue
They
on.
both have gyno. I've seen in the church.
Yo, this dude is definitely on some Bateman. But hold on, let's continue on real quick because this is a bombshell here.
And they took that picture and they said, that's his wife. Got him. It's not my wife. No, she's a comedian. She's a comedian. And
wait, hold on. Y'all built an entire attack on us based upon me making fun of your fat wife that was never your wife in the first place.
Yep.
And then trying to insinuate that we're racist towards Haitians. Last I checked, we got a dude right next to us repping the fucking Haitians, man.
There you go.
We're actually down here with the fucking Zoes. What the fuck are you talking about?
What up, Zoe?
Okay. Uji lipa.
Yet again, Myron is projecting. He calls Preach feminine after calling him out to a boxing match, then ducking that boxing match in 4K, which shows how brain dead Myron really is.
I think you're delusional and deserve to be put down like a dog.
But boxing aside, no straight man is this concerned about the sexuality or the femininity of other grown men without having some sort of deep-rooted insecurity going on in their own mind. Second, the attacks Abba and Preach made on Fresh and Fit were based on their actions and the words that came out of their mouths. They didn't just make 20 videos crying about how Fresh and Fit insulted Preach's wife and made fun of Haiti. They made videos about these clowns when they did things that were objectively stupid. For example, they made a video on Fresh and Fit falsely copyright claiming people who criticized them. Why did they do that? Because these guys are massive hypocrites who pretend to be these free speech warriors when the cameras are on.
You know what I'm saying? I'm a big believer in free speech and free speech and saying what you want to say. I don't think anyone should be canceled, even my worst enemies.
Right now in this society, we're led to believe that we have free speech, which we do.
Yeah, dude, when you fuck with free speech, that's when crazy things happen. We live in a world now where free speech isn't really free anymore, because nowadays, bro, it's starting to get ridiculous.
It's the last stronghold for free speech.
Yeah, it really is.
It really is. And they can discuss ideas without persecution. That's what this country was founded upon. First Amendment, motherfuckers, okay? The right to free speech.
However, when people criticize them behind closed doors, they file completely false copyright claims against YouTubers who criticize them, including more than 10 separate false claims on Abba and Preach videos.
Fresh and Fit decided to hit us with dozens of copyright claims. We saw this was probably going to end up coming, and honestly, not upset about it all.
So yet again, Myron is just straight up pretending like the truth is something that it's not. They did not make 20 videos talking about how they insulted Preach's wife and country, but this level of delusion is what happens to someone when you're surrounded by a bunch of yes men who don't check you when you're in the wrong and saying some BS.
This whole discussion kind of proves what I've always said, is that women have a very difficult time taking accountability for their own actions.
And regardless of whether Myron insulted the wrong person or not, insulting the looks of someone's wife is not acceptable behavior in any context, and it's even worse specifically when that person is not a public figure like Preach's wife. And just because they insulted the wrong person, that does not change the fact that it's not acceptable behavior at all for a 33-year-old man who LARPs as this high-value man and sells a $700 course on how to become a high-value man.
Who is the high-value man? Who qualifies that? Because all the women in here, they just said that it's about ambition, it's about character, your personality. Is it you flexing for other guys? Who's qualifying? Like, who are you becoming high value for? Other dudes on the internet?
Yes, the red pill was actually scientifically designed for closeted men to impress other closeted men over the internet, and somehow Myron can't even do that properly.
Physically put me out, right?
No one's gonna physically touch you.
What's your name? Fresh and Fit? Go ahead, put me out.
Yeah.
Put me out.
Yeah, so she stepped on my foot. She did it. She did it.
Oh, what?
Owned by a woman? Cringe?
All right. Now you guys know why I didn't want to fight with Preach.
And these losers know for a fact they were in the wrong by insulting Preach's wife and his country, which is why they literally apologized for both of those things on video.
We apologize, okay, for talking about his wife, his country, and making ad hominem attacks on them.
I think the best thing to do when you're wrong is just admit it, like they already have in the past, and if they wanted to respond after the 21st video, I think that's totally justified, but don't take back your previous apology that's on video and in writing, and then do the exact same thing again. They're literally proving to the entire world that their word means absolutely nothing.
Guys, the man who he's calling like a betrayer, you know how many times we've met and spoken? Once.
Okay, so not only did we meet and speak once, but look at this shit, guys. The reason why I flip out on this guy, look at all the hit pieces they made on us. 20 plus videos talking shit.
Wow,
then
bro.
He makes this accusation right here.
My other boys, you won't f me, then you can't get on the platform. So wait, you want to bang a girl who just wants to come on the platform for clout? And you think that's burning desire?
Look, I'm about getting a soul. I don't care about smashing out. I want her soul.
So he shows a text message between me and this chick. Well, I got something for y'all real quick that I'm gonna pull up. Unlike Abba and Preach, I got the entire conversation right fucking here. Uh-oh! Look at this. See how he takes this one part right here. I'm just being honest. I stand by it, blah, 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 blah. But he doesn't show y'all the entire conversation of her talking shit for hours on hours on hours on hours to me prior to it. There's a big difference. But the thing is this, Abba and Preach are not concerned with the truth, guys. They're more concerned with lying, okay? They want to go ahead and get AdSense revenue. People sit there and say, oh, these guys have integrity, yes.
Okay, this is the worst part of the entire podcast. This man has serious mental problems if he thinks showing this entire conversation does anything besides make him look like a professional Weinsteiner. First of all, he reaches out to her to see if she wants to come on his show. Then he asks her whether she's single or married. Then he says, I only collab with girls I date. Then, after she rejects him, he says, I'll only collab with you if we have intercourse. So again, this is just another one of those situations where he immediately deflects to claiming it's just out of context because it makes him look bad, but in reality, Myron showing the context here does nothing but exposes himself for the absolute Weinstein that he really is.
So on one side, right, he goes ahead and says that I try to get girls to come on the show. Debunk. Next thing he says, y'all remember this clip right here? You guys say, oh, yo, Myron, let it go, let it go. Would y'all let it go if someone said some bullshit like this about you on a big ass podcast with 4 million subscribers?
Fuck, well, what am I going to spend my day socializing with somebody who's like a rapist?
Wait, what?
Like, whoa.
Hold on. See, this is what.
You look how sneaky he is. He even said the simile of like.
Yeah.
This snake, he even said he's like.
Bro, well, again for y'all, just in case y'all missed it, because everyone seems to have fucking amnesia when it comes to what these guys did that stimulated us responding. Hold, one more time for y'all.
Fuck, well, what am I going to spend my day socializing with somebody who's like a rapist? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh.
So as much as these guys want to cry about context, they play a 2-second clip on repeat of Abba allegedly calling Myron a rapist. Myron, if that's really what he called you, and you're not actually a rapist as he allegedly called you, sue him for slander immediately, and you'll win 100%. But unfortunately, that lawsuit wouldn't go anywhere because that's not what Abba said at all. So let's roll the whole clip.
I can't be cool with people who don't have integrity. That's me personally. I won't go after you, but if you're someone who I think is a reprehensible person, I'm not trying to have business relationships with you. Why would I? Fuck, well, what am I going to spend my day socializing with somebody who's like a rapist? Like, you know what I mean? Like, and this is some real shit. Like, if you go around stealing from people all the time, I'm going to look at you crooked. Like, why would I want you in my circle to someone to conversate with? Why would I put my name beside yours for my fans to be like, because if my fans see me beside you, I think you have moral character. And if I don't, that means I'm recommending you to people when I think you're trash. So my whole thing is, I'm not going to go out of my way to fight folks for that. You can be that way, but I'm not going to associate with you.
He's just describing how he wouldn't want to associate or be friends with a bad person, and he brings that up as an example along with stealing as actions that one would do to qualify as what Abba defines as a bad person. Again, Myron, if he actually called you that, that's horrible. I don't think anyone likes slander. I defended Myron from slanderous lines of questioning in my Ethan Decline video.
This is very bad. I think he may have assaulted you. I mean, at this point,
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to say that, but like, again, like...
So please, waste your time and money and sue Abba for slander and lose, because that would be so frivolous considering the evidence and how bad faith of an argument this is that you'll be the one paying his attorney's fees. But he won't do that because he knows he's lying, he knows he's misrepresenting the verifiable truth, and behavior like this is honestly offensive to the intelligence of the people that follow them, because on one hand, he's mauling about context, but in the exact same live stream, he's unironically using out-of-context clips to misrepresent the truth in order to paint a picture that is verifiably false.
Every single time you watch them, you're sitting down, you're vaping, you're getting high, and you're just getting worse.
And here's the thing, instead of us talking about it, let me prove it to y'all real quick. As you guys can see here, they made a bunch of videos talking shit about this guy named Skippy, who's a virgin that's not really living his life the way he's supposed to be. This is a guy that needs help. What do Abba and Preach do? They just bash him and make fun of him. What did we do? We brought him on the podcast and actually tried to help him.
Ogden, Utah.
Okay. You live in the United States?
Yes.
Okay. Do you have running water?
Yes.
Do you have electricity?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have food in the fridge?
Yeah.
Okay, you got nothing to be depressed about. There's children right now that don't even have clothes, that don't have food, that don't have anything, We're giving him the reality. We flew him out here. We tried to change his life. We offered him free coaching. What are these guys doing? Oh, let me make a bunch of videos. I've been telling y'all forever. I don't know how no one has exposed these guys. They're not concerned with making you better. They're concerned with letting you be sedated and continue to be mediocre. They're not giving you real advice on how to become a better man. They're more concerned with making money. And if they have to lie to do so, that's what they will do.
So here's something that these red pill losers do all the time, and I'm honestly glad I get to address this now. These nerds criticize other people who they claim don't provide value to the audience through their content, even though the audience are the ones who decide who provides value to them and who doesn't. And at the end of the day, red pill content in general is nothing but mindless entertainment. It is the exact same thing as watching an Abba and Preach video. This podcast is not a college lecture where people take notes on each and every word that Sneeko and Andrew Tate and Fresh say.
Oh, you're my daddy.
They're just watching it for fun, just like they watch Abba and Preach. Nobody's learning anything when they're watching Myron get absolutely obliterated by women.
Yeah, you did say that you warn guys about girls like me. So now that we're face to face, what kind of girl am I?
You're not special. You're like other girls. That's the
I'm
key.
not special.
Like,
so
you're like other women that are
So
like,
what makes you special then?
I never said I was.
What do you gain from telling girls that they're not special? How does that make you feel?
I'm about getting a soul. I don't care about smashing no. I want her
I mean,
soul.
I know everything is a joke, but I'm asking you a real question. So how does it make you feel? Because if I say you're a bitch ass nigga, that does something for me.
Like, if you want to keep it real, like a bad bitch, like, let's be real. You say you want a bad bitch, right? At 10. You think a bad bitch gonna fuck with a nigga who got a bald spot? Like, let's be real. Oh, no. Let's be real. Let's be real.
And to put this into perspective, I only know one person who watches Fresh and Fit who's not a YouTuber who gets paid to do it. And this individual is literally a single bisexual cuck. And obviously these guys don't promote that way of living, aside from Sneeko.
I just seen the girl you love, like,
get fucked.
Love her? Yeah, I do. I love it. Yeah, I love her. And you allow the love of your life to get fucked by another man.
But I'm just saying that to say, most people watching this content are not sitting there watching Fresh and Fit so they can study how to become an alpha male who pulls a new escort in Miami every Saturday night.
It's just not the same when you're having sex with a girl that actually wants to smash you versus a girl that's like, is the clock? Okay, I gotta get the fuck out of here.
I want her soul.
Yeah, there you go. Saying something. Yeah, I'm saying.
Or how to go to strip clubs to pick up chicks while sober.
Tonight.
Just kidding.
I will go to the strip club, throw that money.
No, bro. We have never, I'm trying to say it on this podcast, neither of us has ever spent $1 in a fucking strip club throwing at a dancer, bro. Ever.
None.
What?
We don't spend money in strip club.
There's a big reason for that.
Yeah.
There's a.
We be finessing and jugging.
So you go in the strip club and you don't spend any money.
No.
But we show respect though.
Okay, how do you show respect?
The managers, the DJs, we be networking, you feel me?
But how do you network? Are you like, so you go over there, you look at the females, and do you mind your business? Do you get involved, or is it strictly
Do you know
business?
what these 4 letters stand for? PAMP. All right, I'm done. All right, cool.
And when you compare that to Abba and Preach, these guys make an hour or 2 of content per week in total. Fresh and Fit make more than 10 hours of this absolute brain rot content per week. So Fresh and Fit actually cared about the viewers and having them not waste their time mindlessly watching the exact same conversation 4 times a week instead of getting a hobby or a job or maybe even a girlfriend. They'd move over to a more quality over quantity approach rather than quantity over quality, but solely because it's more profitable for Fresh and Fit to record 20 hours of the exact same conversation per week. They do exactly that, even though they know for a fact that it's not in the best interest of the viewers. So this podcast is actually one of the most anti-consumer, pro-parasocial relationship online businesses that you could possibly run. Number 2, even if you do follow what these red pill weirdos do and say to a T, if you're sitting there taking notes watching their podcast, all that leads to is a level of delusion that I cannot even describe with words. But to show you exactly what I mean, let's take a look at this clip from their live event that took place just last week.
Show of hands if you're single. Okay. Oh my God! Now, for all the single dudes out there, Raise your hand if you want a girlfriend or a wife or a girl in your life. Show of hands. Okay, so the most of you want a girl in your life.
So a majority of these guys in the audience are single, proving definitively that the garbage dating advice they're taking in 15 hours a week clearly isn't working.
Show of hands if you want to do the Myron approach and have multiple wives. Okay. Now,
Most men can't do that.
And not only are the majority of these guys single, but they're also so deluded to the point where they think they're going to have multiple wives, even though they can't even get one girlfriend, let alone one wife.
What are you, morons?
Y'all know what time it is.
Let's get ready to rumble! Woo! This is the death of Apple and Leech. I got the fucking chef hats. We're putting it back to where it was before.
Yo, this is a bad look, bro. Look like the kid.
Y'all are not concerned with the truth. You guys are concerned with jokes. And last I checked, we're pretty funny guys as well. Because these guys have been talking shit for years, and I think it's fucking time to roast these motherfuckers.
Let's go.
These dirty, dusty, fucking bummy,
squeaky
effeminate
floorboard
freaking losers. Bruh, go ahead to the Facebook tab real quick, because I got something to say about Preach, this fucking homosexual.
Yo,
What
hey,
is
yo.
that?
Hey, yo, is that a man? Ow! What is that?
Bumbleclaw.
What the fuck is that?
Do you, boo-boo?
In the islands, we say Banabati man.
Straight.
Do you boo-boo? Do you boo-boo? Oh yeah. I can preach. I wear lip windows for fun. I'm a retard. Let me talk shit on the internet. I'll free you. I've got a problem with you.
Like, bruh, what the fuck is going on here, you window-looking retard? This dude talking about gay? What is this?
After coping and lying for about 2 hours straight on video, the mental breakdown has officially come to its peak. Now, I will admit the outfit Preach is wearing is not exactly my cup of tea. That looks like something Myron would rock back in his old college rowing team days, but dancing with a female is not homosexual. There's no point in speculating on another man's sexuality based on pictures of him dancing with a female adult, specifically when the general public has access to all this clear-cut evidence that there's a lot of projection occurring in this case scenario.
We call it Masisi.
What is this? This nigga hopping around? Like, what the fuck is going on here?
Masisi.
Whose man's is this?
Yo, tab again.
C'est ça, Masisi,
Wait,
no?
what?
Whose man's is this?
Wait. These are your fucking emperors?
And again, I will admit this picture is crazy. That man is like 220 and he's about 5 feet in the air, but isn't this out of context? Myron, we all know that in order to criticize someone properly, you have to play at least a 30-minute clip of their full dance routine to really paint the whole picture. Or does the context only matter if it makes Myron and Fresh look bad?
Bro, you are a fucking homo. Big facts.
Bro.
And here's the thing, yo. You ran for the boxing match, blah, blah, blah. Bro, the reason why I don't want to box you is because it would be a hate crime to beat up a retard.
Okay, this was actually the most frustrating part of this entire stream. This guy is a 33-year-old full-time podcast host, and he can't even roast someone properly. Out of all the opportunities to make a homophobic joke, that was the perfect setup to use that as an excuse for why he was scared to fight Preach. But instead, he decides to go with this nasty, disgusting, pain-inducing, ableist slur, which, to be honest, really hurt my feelings.
How dare you? People are suffering. People are dying.
This is your king?
Bro.
You got one dude doing fucking tutu dancing, and then this guy. What is that?
Gynecomastia. Yo, that nigga called me goofy? Look at you, bro. You're goofy.
Any man that can boogie is a homosexual.
At this point, the podcast has devolved into nothing but grown men making ad hominem attacks against other grown men while recording themselves, which is a disgrace to all men across the world. Myron criticizes both Preach and Abba's dancing abilities. However, I don't think he knew I was coming for his neck today, because I was able to find this video of Myron dancing, and I genuinely don't understand what he's trying to to accomplish here. I'm not gonna play the song because it's copyrighted, but just take my word for it, he's completely offbeat. For some reason, it looks like he's trying to do the worm, but he's standing straight up. This guy is lucky I'm not on Rumble, but all I'm gonna say is that Myron is not in a position to be critiquing the dancing of others.
You can tell this dude is built like a fucking Pillsbury Doughboy.
He's got a gunt. He's got a fucking gunt.
Bro, these dudes don't work out. They're over here talking shit. Abba, you literally have titties. You have titties. Preach. You have titties, which explains your feminine behavior. What is this nigga wearing in the show?
Tutu.
You guys are dirty, dusty, bummy, looking ridiculous. I know I'm a minimalist and I don't wear that much.
Myron has a great physique, I will admit that, so I guess he's at the very least in a better position to critique the bodies of others than he is the dancing, but that still doesn't change the fact that the nickname he gave himself is Fit.
Bruh.
What's your name again? Oh God, hold it. I don't know his name.
Bruh. Then what are you doing here?
I know his name.
Then what are you doing here?
I don't know. I know his name.
What does the podcast say behind you right there?
Fresh and Feel Your Fit?
Yeah.
Okay, Fit.
And if that wasn't corny enough on its own, the fake last name that he decided to give himself is Gaines.
What went wrong in my life that I thought that was a good idea? Because at the end of the day, I'm the one who has to look in the mirror and say, that was my decision.
I would rather just not have a good physique and be built like this absolute human pug, Fresh, than to be so stupid as to consensually name myself Myron Fit Gaines.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Wait, first of all, you're not gonna speed past that like you didn't just say what you just said.
Yeah, I'm not gonna dox the guy, but Myron's real name is not Myron Gaines. He literally named himself Myron Gaines. He then starts fantasizing about Abba's titties for some reason, which is just insane when you combine that with everything else this man constantly fantasizes about on his podcast.
I walked up to you in a club and I had heels and a dress and said, hey man, it's like I'm gay.
And it's just crazy to me that these guys have an entire 45-minute ad hom section of their failed takedown of Abba and Preach because these high-value men are the first ones to cry when people use ad hominem attacks against them.
All you do is do ad hominem attacks. You don't argue the points. You do realize that like the more and more you just like make ad hominem attacks or say blah 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 blah, you actually just make yourself look worse. You guys just make ad hominem attacks, taking L's on arguments. You take ad hominem attacks. You're supposed to be a master debater. Ad hominem attack followed by some kind of reframe or deflection or whatever it is, where they basically just made ad hominem attacks, man. We never made ad hominem attacks on them. We're not going to insult him personally, whatever. When you mention or cite statistics or data that puts women in an unfavorable light, almost always an ad hominem attack is going to come at you.
These guys are massive hypocrites. They want to cry about ad homs when people are mean to them, but when they're talking about someone they dislike, they do nothing but lie on video and make ad hominem attacks, proving that their word means nothing and they have no integrity. But Myron, on that note of ad hominem attacks,
By the way, you're gay.
So after this podcast came out, Abba and Preach made 2 videos in response, and they essentially just said that Fresh and Fit are racist. And as you could tell, I obviously don't like Fresh and Fit, more so Myron specifically, but I personally do not think Fresh and Fit are racist. I don't think these guys dislike black people because of the color of their skin. They made a bunch of jokes in an attempt to be funny. I personally don't think these jokes are funny, but at the end of the day, comedy is comedy, and it is 100% subjective. So it is what it is, a joke that is definitely offensive to certain people.
Have you seen how Reach goes clubbing? He clubs the bitch over there like a fucking game man. yo, Reach, I don't even believe in this theory, but you gotta evolve. Whoa, you gotta evolve, bro. No.
And I think in general, joke policing, without at the very least acknowledging that these are attempts at humor, is not a smart move to make. I think it's a dangerous precedent to set, specifically with as large of a platform as Abba and Preach have. And it's even worse when you take into account the fact that both Abba and Preach are both comedians.
The reason I'm telling you all this is because I'm playing both sides so that I always come out on top. So,
with that information being said, I'm gonna leverage the fact that I personally disagree with the notion that these guys are actual racists and mention the fact that if it were two white dudes saying these exact same words in the exact same tone, in addition to some of the other remarks they've already made in the past, which could potentially be interpreted as racist.
We got quite a bit of progress because we got a dark ass nigga like Tommy wearing a white cotton shirt. He went from picking it to wearing it, baby.
They would have gotten Nick is not greened.
Ban him from the platform.
I think this was a ridiculously stupid move from them. The video literally got taken down. I'm sure they got a strike for it or something. I totally understand the fact that they're trying to be entertaining. Let's be honest here. There's 9 cameras looking at them directly in the eyes, and there's a microphone in their faces. But the problem does come in when you take into account the fact that they're actually angry at Abba and Preach in this case scenario because they made fun of them. So it's not like this is a stand-up comedy set, they're actually pissed, and that's where it gets tricky. You don't do this without having a tad bit of emotion going on in your mind, and I think how pissed they are over internet beef is what makes this actually funny, not the jokes themselves.
Watching them run around and do these kinds of poses for 30 minutes, I'm like, okay, I guess this is just how high-value men act in the privacy of their home.
Yes.
When they mad about something, they don't make business moves. They don't do things strategically. They just run around like monkeys.
They make monkeys. That's a high value.
That's a high value man.
That's a high value.
This guy's apparently now the new leader of the Red Pill.
Yes.
Okay. And this is what he's like.
But either way, whether they're joking or not, I think this is irresponsible because these guys know they attract a very young audience, and they also know that they shouldn't be doing stuff like this with as large of a platform as they have. And as a minority myself, I don't like to see things like this being done against people who are where I'm from in a way that at the very least isn't witty or comedic at all. So although these are jokes, I definitely agree that they took it way too far. In the stream the day after this initial live stream, Myron put on a white hood and pretended to be a member of a certain clan, which I can't mention, which is disgusting, and frankly, I think it's embarrassing to pretend to be a high value man, but then behave like this when someone says they dislike you on the internet. But again, what level of integrity or morality or responsibility would you expect from people who can't touch a female without paying for it, but then turn around and attempt to charge their own fans $500 for a course on how to pick up women by just buying ads on Instagram? In conclusion, watching Fresh and Fit is like watching paint dry, except it's already dry.
I got a problem with you.
These guys are exceptionally delusional if they thought them lying for 2 hours straight, then dancing around like monkeys, was some sort of an own.
Yo, I don't think anybody has violated them like this, bro.
Nah.
And I'm honestly surprised these clowns didn't take this video down, just like they did when they called out Curtis Connor a few years ago. They waited until YouTube came in and cleaned it up, which again shows how stupid they are.
All the Abba Preach fans, go buy a coffin, because they just got bodied.
According to Fresh here, ending someone's career means getting ratioed by your own fans on your own channel and having YouTube take your video down.
Absolute horseplay.
Myron is an objectively bad person. He hides behind the premise of providing value to his audience, when in reality the value he provides to young men is nothing but a sometimes truthful but mostly harmful rhetoric.
Okay, when a girl tells you her body count, don't believe it. And why'd you even ask, guys? She's never going to be honest with you, okay? No girl nowadays in the West is a virgin, and if you ask her for a body count, whatever she tells you, multiply by 3, then add another 10, and then multiply that by another 2. That's probably her body count, right? She ain't gonna be honest, don't ask. It's gonna bother you no matter what it is.
So he's literally saying the exact same thing as believe all women, but on the other side of the spectrum, which is believe no woman, because apparently, if a girl tells you her body count is 10, it's actually 80.
You're so toxic and insecure!
I've said it before and I'll say it again, most of these red pill dudes are nothing but radical feminists on the other side of the spectrum, and whether you want to admit it or not, Myron is nothing but a deeply insecure man.
I think if you're in a serious relationship with a girl, she should not have an Instagram. That's cheating.
in my opinion. I think a woman having an Instagram is 100% cheating.
And this podcast reinforces a subliminal hatred towards women as a whole, mixed in with semi-decent advice every now and then about working out, working hard, but anyone can give that advice. Just because you say one good thing, that doesn't eliminate all the bad things that are being spread to the younger generations of men through this type of content, just so these guys can make money.
All women are gold diggers to some degree. They just hide some just hide the shovel better. Some don't give a fuck. They've got a shovel right there, right? All women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel. All women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel. Pay attention to what I just said.
They hide the shovel.
I said all women are gold diggers. Some are just better at hiding the shovel.
If you're young and you're a fan of these clowns, just know that anytime someone talks about all 3 billion adult women out there like that and generalizes them into one specific predetermined thing, do not take anything they say seriously ever. They're a grifter. They don't care about you at all. They do not care about waking you up from the Matrix. They care about putting you in their Matrix just so they can keep making money off of you. If you want to watch Fresh and Fit for fun, go ahead, but generalizing women is just as moronic as generalizing black people or Asian people or white people or men. It just doesn't make sense to do it, and women are not the exception to that rule just because Myron couldn't get laid before he was rich, so he decides to take his anger out on the women he meets now.
Shut up and listen to what the fuck I'm saying. I told you, don't talk to me like that. Period. We done?
This generalization of women as a whole is nothing but a prepubescent way of thinking, and it is a very dangerous mindset to be perpetuating to millions of people across the world on a daily basis, because we know exactly what this type of behavior leads to.
You're fucking monkeys, you're really mad because we destroyed you guys in this rap. Abba and Preach are a bunch of and I'm here to make fun of the blacks.
These guys are complete douche nozzles, they're grifters, they don't actually mean any of the words they say, they have no integrity, and the fact of the matter is, most of the red pill is just a bunch of closeted men trying to impress other closeted men. These guys unironically hate women, even though they base their entire lives around trying to pick up and impress women. Their personalities consist of nothing but the ability to potentially protect a woman in the off chance their homes are broken into, and they spend more than 10 hours a week having the exact same conversation.
The fastest way to becoming a high value man is these things.
I'm honestly sick to my stomach of these red pill grifters, so I'm gonna be retiring from the red pill for now. We're gonna go back to the scammers after this one.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm gonna go play in traffic.
If you guys like this video about Fresh and Fit, I think you might like this one about Just Pearly Things, who's by far the biggest grifter in the entire red pill community, or maybe this one on the screen right now about Sneeko. If you like the video, like it. If you disliked it, dislike it. If you want to support the channel, you can become a member. The link is in the description. We're almost at 50,000 subscribers. God bless you all. I really appreciate you if you made it all the way till the end, and I hope you have a great day.